You're listening to an Airwave Media Podcast.
Welcome to From Beneath the Hollywood Sign. If you love old movies, Hollywood history, or the golden age of filmmaking, you've come to the right place. This is the podcast that talks about amazing stories of Tinseltown from another era and fascinating conversations with writer-producer Steve Cubine and actress-writer Nan McNamara.
So, Steve, did Ava Gardner and Howard Hughes have a good relationship?
Well, they did until he dislocated her jaw.
What?
Well, don't worry. She hit him back with an ashtray.
From Beneath the Hollywood Sign is the gin joint for you.
Recorded in Chicago, Illinois, with your hosts, Ken, Matt, Neil, and Jeff. This is Triviality. The cream of the crop!
Hello and welcome to Triviality, the game where lack of seriousness meets a little bit of knowledge. My name is Neil, and I am not going to be your host today. We'll get to that in a minute, but I am joined in the studio by Ken, Matt, and Jeff. How's it going, gentlemen?
Hello. Doing good. Just got off a nice 14-hour shift, so I'm primed for trivia now.
I heard you had to let some people go.
Yeah. Well, they were promoted to customer, as we like to say in the industry.
Off to greener pastures, I guess.
Yeah.
I think Neil was promoted to a customer. He's gnashing on a big bowl of General Tso's chicken right in front of him.
Yeah, this episode is sponsored by Panda Express. We'll redact
Don't
the
give
Panda.
away free sponsors.
We'll redact the Panda Express. They're not going to give us any money.
They will not. No.
But yeah, I'm enjoying some Panda Express.
They won't even give you good fortune cookies anymore. You have to pay for them. It's terrible.
Yeah, and I have to ask for soy sauce.
Yeah.
Just put one in the bag. It's okay.
What is going on there?
Yeah. But other than the Panda Express chicken and the gentleman in the studio, we have a special guest contestant with us today, and he's coming to us from Houston, Texas, and that is Stephen Powell. How's it going, Stephen?
It's going great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you very much for joining us. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into trivia and what you do?
I'm a registered nurse in the Texas Medical Center, as well as a DJ with K-Tree Rice Radio, 96.1 FM. I got into trivia a few years ago and compete with a company called Challenge Entertainment. They had their National Trivia League finals this past weekend. I actually listened to your show, enough leading up to it. It helped out enough, and we placed 11th out of 204 registered teams.
Oh, wow. Pretty good. Congratulations. Glad to hear our voices didn't, ruin your trivia time there. And as far as DJing, that's awesome. Do you have a website or anything, any place that people can find you for the show you do?
Or SoundCloud, right?
Right. For all of the kids, who do social media, I'm personally at DJ Nursic because I'm the nurse bringing you music, and the radio station is K-Tree Rice Radio, and I'll post links or whatever.
Yeah, send us the links. Yeah, we'll put them on the show notes. And thank you very much for your service as a registered nurse. I have a lot of family members that are nurses, and it's hard work, and we need people to do it. So thank you for doing that. And I just hope one day if I do break my knee or my leg or something in Houston that you will be scratching while I come into the OR. So.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you. And one more introduction. He is our Universal Champion. He's one of our favorite people back from a long trip to Japan, and he's going to tell us all about it, but it's our good friend and awesome person, David Levesey. How's it going, David?
Good. How are you? Good job getting my last name correctly.
Well, remember I told you we have the secret sauce, which is you sing Gin Blossoms. Hey, David Levesey.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. So, how's everything going? Tell us about your trip to Japan.
Everything's going great. So I went to Japan for about a week, and one of my favorite parts there was I went to Nara, which is a city right outside Kyoto. It's kind of the birthplace of Japanese Buddhism. And they had these deer there where they're so ingrained and they're like sacred to the people there. They're like messengers for the kami, which is like the spirits of Shintoism. And they're so ingrained in the society that they bow to you when they want the crackers that you're trying to give them before they like if you don't give it to them right away, like they bow in order to get it. It's kind of cool.
Neil does that too, actually. When he wants the crackers.
Yeah, when I want a cracker, I bow. That's correct.
If I'm not mistaken, the crackers near that shrine are the original origin of actual Chinese fortune cookies, which we were discussing earlier, thanks to Neil's Panda Express. So they were originally a Japanese cookie. Then we interned all the Japanese people following World War II, and the Chinese took over a lot of the Japanese business, and Chinese fortune cookies were born. So
there you go. There's a little history for you before the trivia.
Yeah,
and I don't know about you, David, but my favorite part of my trip to Japan was the plane ride back.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
It's horrible,
so
isn't it?
I got back Wednesday, and then on Saturday I slept probably 18 hours.
Yeah.
And now I think my system's all caught up. I don't know. We'll see.
I had a similar experience where I woke up and I had no idea where I was.
when we go, I'm going to just try and keep Central Time from the U.S. the whole time. It's like all I'm going to do is
just really enjoy
karaoke.
the nightlife.
Yeah, I'm just singing karaoke.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think Jeff is going to team up with Steven over there. And he had a great team name that he came up with that his trivia team usually does. And what is that, Steven?
We are the Quizzly Bears.
The Quizzly Bears. All right.
The Quizzly Bears, looking for that honey.
I guess in honor of Neil's dinner, me and Matt are going to team up and be General Triviality's chicken. How about that?
Sounds good. Not too spicy, just enough kick, the way we like it.
Right.
I can't handle spice, as you know. So we were getting tacos the other day with Ken, and I asked the guy at the restaurant, I was like, is the sauce spicy? And he's like, no, not at all.
No, not at all.
And I took a bite, and Ken's like, oh, it's not that bad, right? And I was like, I couldn't handle it. So
it was kind of spicy.
It was a little spicy. And then Ken ate some grasshoppers.
Yep.
Well, thank you, David, for
they were cooked by the restaurant. I didn't just find them.
Yeah, he didn't have to catch them or anything. Thank you for writing this game, David. David, as you guys might know, is coming to us from Austin, Texas. And in honor of this game today, I'm not going to be playing. I'm going to be scorekeeping, playing by myself. So if I do win, it counts. If I don't, it's okay. But I do have a fortune cookie over there. So the winner will get to open the fortune cookie, and we'll see what happens in bed. So classic fortune cookie
humor
game there. Humor, yeah. All right. Well, if you guys are good to go, I'm going to throw it to the rules guy.
The rules of the game are simple. 20 questions split into 2 rounds worth 10 points apiece. At halftime, there'll be a special swing round designed by this week's host. After regulation, players will enter the final round with the points that they've accumulated and will have a chance to wager 0 to 30 points on 5 categorized questions. At the end of the game, someone will be named the cream of the crop.
Oh, I'm talking about all the way to the top, yeah.
We got to get him to do it in Japanese, too.
It could be possible. I bet he could. He's a professional.
Yeah.
I mean, give him some time.
I like that idea.
Yeah. Give him some time. He'll learn it.
Give him some money, probably, more like.
Or some money. I prefer him to do it with no script, just to learn it by heart.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, David, let's throw it to you, and you can take over from here.
Neil can enjoy his chicken.
All right, round 1, question 1. You heard it in church first. Born in Halle, Germany, what Baroque composer is responsible for the popular Hallelujah chorus known from the Messiah Oratorio?
Okay, I think me and Matt are going to lock in.
All right. Well, with Ken and Matt locked in, Steven, I have an immediate thought on this, but I wanted to get your feedback. What did you think on this one?
I mean, Handel's Messiah immediately came to mind.
That was what I was thinking. Sounds good.
And we have elected to lock in with the same answer.
Yeah, I didn't really have any thoughts, so I let Ken handle it. I'm sorry.
You should be. That was a disgrace.
If we're gonna make jokes, let's handle them with care, okay?
I love puns. So he was he gained his citizenship in England, but he was born in Germany, and it's George Frederick Handel.
Ah, excellent.
Good start.
Good job. The next one's kind of a mouthful, so be ready. Famous femme fatales. Count Dracula is often attributed to Vlad the Impaler of Wallachia, but Countess Dracula is attributed to which Hungarian noblewoman who holds the Guinness World Record for most prolific female murderer and was accused of torturing and killing hundreds of young women between 1858 and 1609. She shares her name with a 1980s Swedish band who, along with Mayhem and Immortal, helped pave the way for heavy metal.
Oh, man. A Hungarian countess.
There's so many.
This is so familiar, actually.
Is it?
And I just can't. I have written one prolific killer down, and it's not the hippo.
The Hungarian hippo.
Nice callback to our 4th episode.
Hungarian.
Very
hippos.
early episode.
Yeah.
Heavy metal from the 80s. No idea?
No.
Okay. We're locked in.
All right, Steven. Any thoughts on this? I was trying to run through early metal-ish bands that were Swedish, but I was not getting very far on the Swedish one. I kept thinking about like Iron Maiden, but that's obviously British. What are your thoughts?
Sure. I'm actually struggling. My Swedish metal is not as strong as it should be.
Yep,
but
I feel the same way.
Though Swedish metal is usually the strongest.
Certainly the darkest.
I don't know. The name that came to mind, at least, was Queensryche.
Okay. Yeah, I've got nothing better than that. All the other Swedish bands I can think of don't fit that description. I'm fine to lock in with that. I figure we'll save everybody the time of us sitting here for an hour. So,
Thank you.
All right. Well, I just locked in with the most prolific female killer I could think of, and that was Lizzie Borden.
not Amon Amarth.
Not Amon Amarth.
So she was known to bathe in the blood of virgins. She's one of the first people to have
Hold
done
on.
that. It was Elizabeth Bathory.
Oh man.
I mean, I did put Lizzie. No
It's
go.
super close.
It's a very different Lizzie for sure.
I haven't heard of that person. I want to research that. That sounds really
What was the
interesting.
band?
Yeah, what's the
Bathory
band?
is the band. Bathory is the
Bathory?
band.
Really?
Bathory.
Okay.
Interesting.
I have never heard of them.
Question 3, famously fictional. Martin Arrowsmith was a bacteriological researcher and titular character of the 1926 novel written by whom? He was awarded the 1926 Pulitzer Prize for the novel but refused to accept the award, he being the author.
Well, so this is probably something in the lines of like a science fiction-y, right?
That's what I was thinking.
Martin Arrowsmith, which is the character, was the bacteriological researcher,
Okay.
not
And
the author.
Right, and we need the author.
Any relation to the later band?
Yeah, Steven Tyler's a huge fan of this book.
Okay. We're locked in.
I'm really curious as to what you're thinking on this one, Stephen. I've got not much of an inroad, so I'm open to suggestion.
I mean, I'm still picking up pieces of my brain. Literature is not exactly a strong suit for me.
Fair enough.
What did you have any thoughts, guesses? I mean, like when I hear bacterial researcher, I assume that this author in the 20s may have been medically related. I'm not sure.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not really good with anybody in that time frame. Yeah, I've got nothing better. I'm fine thinking something like a Hemingway. That would have been pretty early for him, but I could see it.
Well, they're going with Hemingway. We also thought that our selection was maybe a little too late to the party, but we're going to stick with the science fiction and go with Kurt Vonnegut.
Oh, damn. Science fiction.
So in 1926, he was the first person to refuse the Pulitzer Prize, and in 1930, he won the Nobel Prize for Literature. He did not agree that he didn't agree with contests where one book or author was praised over another, and that's why he decided to refuse it. And it was Sinclair Lewis.
Okay.
His book was called Arrowsmith.
All right.
Are there any other notable novels that he wrote?
Babbitt.
Walk This Way.
Oh, right. Love in an Elevator.
Yeah.
Ragdoll. Okay.
He wrote Main Street, Babbitt, Arrowsmith, and Elmer Gantry. Question 4. Shorties in sports ball. In 1947, the first National Little League tournament, later dubbed the Little League World Series in 1949, had the Maynard Midgets defeating the Lock Haven All-Stars, both from which state?
Yeah, we can lock in.
Do you actually know this one?
No. I have a guess.
You have any thoughts on this one, Stephen? I'm thinking with a name like Maynard and Haven, it's some kind of a New Englandish state.
Don't have an immediate one, but something northeast is certainly what I'm leaning towards.
Yeah, I don't know why I had like a weird like New Hampshire vibe about it immediately for no reason. So we'll say New Hampshire. We'll live free or die. So
Sounds good.
So the Little League World Series is played in Williamsburg, Virginia, I believe, currently. So my guess would be that the first one would have teams from there. So we said Virginia.
So in 1947, the Maynard Midgets won 16-7, and 11 out of the 12 teams were from Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. That was my second guess. Doesn't count.
Question 5. And they said TV would rot our brains.
yeah, I think it did in mine case. But
Outtake footage from which HBO comedy was used to clear Juan Catalan from murder charges in 2003.
I got this one.
I'm locked in as well, even though I'm not playing.
okay, Stephen, I've definitely heard of this. When I think of HBO comedies from that time, though, I'm thinking Curb Your Enthusiasm. Does that sound about right?
Okay. Yeah, That sounds good.
Okay. We're going with Curb Your Enthusiasm.
And we are also going with Curb Your Enthusiasm, assuming that after the verdict was read, it cut to the prosecutor and bump, 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 ba-da-da-dun-da-dun-da-dun.
So what happened was he was accused of murder, and then he said his alibi was that he was with his daughter at the Dodgers game, and they couldn't. His lawyers, who had subpoenaed the footage, couldn't find him on the Fox footage or the Dodgers footage, and then they found out that they were recording an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And they looked at the outtakes and found him and his daughter sitting in the stands.
That's crazy.
All right.
Yeah, it's a really fascinating story. They have a little mini doc that was on Netflix at one point. I don't know if it's still there, but if you find it, it's
I'm pretty sure I had
super
heard about
interesting.
it because of the promotion for the documentary and not anything else. But
Well, after 5 questions, it's 20-20.
All right.
So,
Question 6, Land Down Under. Cyril Callister, an Australian food technologist, is considered the father and developer of what food after the British imports of a similar product became scarce following World War I?
We can lock in. That's fine.
Stephen, my gut goes to Vegemite on this one. We joke about it on the show. I can't think of anything else that would be distinctly different. If I'm reading the room right, the gentleman across the table seemed to think similarly, I would guess. But yeah, I'm thinking Vegemite, so I don't know how you feel about that, but
That works for me.
okay. I think we're going to lock in with Vegemite.
Yeah, we thinking the same, and if it's Australian, it's food. We're thinking Vegemite, so we said Vegemite.
The British version was the B vitamin spread, and it's Vegemite.
All right.
Vegemite sounds more appetizing somehow than B vitamin spread.
I actually called 4 stores yesterday to try to get Vegemite in today so you would eat it on camera,
Yeah.
but I couldn't find it, so we have to order it online.
I have it.
You have it at home?
I still have it.
It's
Oh.
expired. I
doesn't
won't
spoil.
eat it. I won't eat it.
Now, if you win, you will bathe in Vegemite.
Something tells me it wouldn't be that bad
It's
for your
good
skin.
for the skin.
Neil's on a bathing kick. It's
I'm
weird.
on a bathing kick. I'm on a very old west. I have to take a 90-degree bath once a month. That type of thing.
All right, question 7, familial disputes. The Muslim community split into the Sunni and Shia branches over who was to succeed Muhammad. The Sunnis believed Abu Bakr was the rightful successor, while the Shias believed who was the rightful successor of Muhammad.
I took a world religion class.
Well, I feel like venturing a guess on this might
Be troublesome.
be troublesome. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Stephen, I don't know if you know much about this. I looked it up once, which is not very helpful, because I was like, I was curious. I was like, I wanted to know the difference between the Sunni and Shia sects. So, you have any thoughts? I feel like one of them was like a descendant of Muhammad, and another one was like another prophet, and I think the other prophet was Abu Bakr, but I can't remember. All the other names I'm coming up with are like 8th through 12th century philosophers of that era. I've got no other good names.
Because I won't be able to pull an Arabic name, I was hoping that maybe the differentiation, much like the religious title out there is Imam, that perhaps that was the person's name and it's just adopted for leaders of various sects, but I can't logically come to the correct answer on this, at least with confidence.
That seems reasonable-ish to me. I've got nothing better than that. I think that's a sensible way to go about it. So I'm good guessing Imam.
Yep, we have no idea, so we're just going to taparoo.
Yep.
It is Ali.
Oh.
Almost like Muhammad Ali, but not.
That's exactly.
Is it just Ali, or is it like Abu Ali, or?
It's Ali Ibn something or another.
Yeah, Ibn's pretty common.
All right, question 8. All in the family. Name the American actress and musician, daughter of an Academy Award-nominated cinematographer and director, and sister of a successful television actress, who was named after a male J.D. Salinger protagonist.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah. Okay, we're locked in.
All right, Stephen, do you have any inroads on this? I'm trying to think of Salinger protagonists that aren't Holden Caulfield.
Oh, I thought he only wrote one book, didn't he?
He might have.
Yeah, I thought J.D. Salinger was like one of a handful of authors where they only wrote one book.
That does
and
sound
he
right.
disappeared for 50 years, so pretty sure that he only wrote Catcher in the Rye.
Okay. Yeah, and that's where I'm getting stuck. I can't think of any. I feel like there's a Holden out there, but I can't put two and two together.
Holden Coppola? Was he a cinematographer?
I think we're locked in with Holden Coppola.
Not a bad guess.
Mm-hmm.
Matt?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the protagonist character, but we based it on the cinematographer, the musician, and sister actor, and just hoping that there's a character named Zoe somewhere, and it's that Zoe Deschanel.
Well, I'm just going to throw my hat in the ring here. Zoe Deschanel's dad is a famous cinematographer. He did The Right Stuff and The Natural and a couple other movies, but that was my guess, Deschanel.
Sister Emily, who's on Bones. It's Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah. Speaking of Bones, give me the pound.
Nice. Well done.
So the J.D. Salinger situation is he wrote one book, but he had short stories. So Zoe comes from Franny and Zoe, which is a short story compilation, which gets around the whole he wrote one book. So.
Gotcha.
Question 9. Open up. Dental amalgam used for fillings is an alloy that is a mixture of metals or other substances with what specific element?
I just had a filling done, and I'm trying to think of that.
Really, I don't.
Pick an element.
Pick an element.
Okay, I have an answer.
Okay, we're in.
Aluminum. I'm trying to come up with some anagram or something, where a element comes from amalgam or.
All right, hear me out. This might sound crazy. I'm pretty sure, like 15 years ago, when I got my first filling, I asked my dentist what it was actually in the filling, because I'm one of those kids, and.
Yeah, we know.
I'm pretty sure he said it was like an amalgam of mercury, and I was like completely awestruck that was like even safe or non-toxic. And I don't know if I've made that story up or if that really happened, but I feel like it's just crazy enough that it might be the right answer. So,
hey, if it's right, I'll like it.
I'm in the same boat. I hope it's right. So.
Did you have a teenage voice and you're like, "You lie, sir, you lie"?
No.
Okay.
I went straight from like a really high-pitched kid's voice to this.
That's probably because that's why you grew your beard when you were like 12, right?
Yep, had it ever since.
False.
So you guys are locked in with mercury?
I think so.
It's a liquid, but yeah, sure.
Not the amalgam
Jeff
though.
Is right, but we went with.
When you're thinking of the mouth, you think of tungsten.
Stupid.
So amalgam in general is any alloy. There's not restricted to just dental, but it is mercury.
Yeah.
Wow.
Good job.
Gaining back those points to keep the game tied there. Wow.
That might have sounded like it was like a surprising victory, but I've been like looking at Jeff's face. He knew that.
I pretty distinctly remember. I was like, "What's actually in this?" And then he's like, "Mercury," and I was like, "No, there's no way.
Well,
you would not put mercury in my mouth."
I was like, "Yep."
I was like, "I trust you.
Yeah,
I trust you with my mouth, man."
All right, question 10. The category is strictly friends. In three-dimensional space, there are 5 platonic solids, which means they are regular convex polyhedrons. 4 of the 5 polyhedrons end in the word hedron. What is the only platonic solid that does not end with hedron?
All right, I'm going to wait for them to figure it out, but I think I've got it, so we'll figure it out, Steven.
Works for me.
So that's what I would have locked in with anyway.
Okay, we're in.
Do you know the 5 platonic solids, Steven?
Not at all.
Okay, so they're D&D dice, if you're familiar with that reference.
Yes, I do understand that
reference. So working your way up, the 4-sided is a tetrahedron. The one that's like 2 pyramids smashed together, 8-sided, I believe, is an octahedron. You have a decahedron. Icosahedron is 20-sided, but I don't think that's a platonic solid. And I'm trying to remember what
dodecahedron.
The dodecahedron is 12-sided, yeah. A cube, I think, is the only one, because that would be the 6-sided die.
And we're rolling a Super Bowl and going with sphere.
So is a tetrahedron, an octahedron, a dodecahedron, an icosahedron, and a cube.
Yeah. Hey! I felt like they had to have parallel
Critical
sides
hit.
or something.
I like you.
Roll for intelligence.
Wow. Well, going into the swing round, Jeff and Steven have a slight lead. They took the lead there, 50-40.
Wow.
Going into the swing round. Just wanted to say one thing before we give it back to you, David. We have our video bonus series that has either aired or is currently airing, so make sure to check it out, Triviality Bloodsport. It's either in our Facebook group called The Crop, or you can find it on our YouTube channel. Also, we just wanted to give a nice shout out to Patreon because David is a universal champion there. Just go to patreon.com/trivialitypodcast to sign up for a bevy of different perks to help support the show. Every dollar you give us helps the show and helps us create new things like the Triviality Bloodsport video series. And we really appreciate it, and it's helping the show grow. So thank you to everyone who is supporting us, who will support us, and for anyone that spreads the word. So thank you.
We got lots of wacky bonus episodes on there for you, too. So
yes.
If you like the nonsense part of the show.
Uncensored.
I still think my
They're a
favorite
little
one.
censored.
I still think my favorite one is that one we did in Boston at like 2 a.m. for no reason.
That was a good one.
That was very good in the Airbnb. And then, just hit us up on Facebook, like we said, on either the page or the Crop, the group, and come have fun. There's a lot of gifts.
All right, halftime. Want to play a game? I'm going to give you 10 descriptions of Spiel des Jahres Game of the Year winners.
Yeah.
You have to name them.
Someone may have this Wikipedia page bookmarked.
Is it you, Ken?
Oh,
damn.
So I'm going to give you a year and a description, and you just give me the name of the game. All right. Question 1, 2016. Spy Masters give one-word clues that point to multiple words on a board where their teammates try to guess words of the right color while avoiding those that belong to opposing teams. Question 2, 2014. Players bet on 5 racing camels, trying to suss out which will place first and second in a quick race around a pyramid. Question 3, 2013. Named for the Japanese word for fireworks, a cooperative game in which players try to create the perfect fireworks show by placing cards on a table in the right order. Question 4, 2011. Using 108 wooden blocks with 6 different shapes and 6 different colors, the start player places blocks of a single matching attribute, color or shape, but not both, on the table. Thereafter, a player adds blocks adjacent to each one previously played block. The blocks must all be played in a line and match without duplicates, either the color or shape of the previous block. Question 5, 2010. One player is a storyteller for the turn and looks at the images on 6 cards in his or her hand. From one of these, she makes up a sentence and says it out loud. Each other player selects a card from their hand which best matches the description and places it down in front of the storyteller without showing it to the others. Everyone votes on which one's the correct one.
It really sucks when you've played these games and you can't
I've
remember the name.
I've played that one for sure.
It's one of my favorite games. Question 6, 2009. A medieval-themed deck-building game where each player uses a separate deck of cards to perform actions and buy cards from a common pool. These cards include action, treasure, and victory cards, and a player with the most victory points win.
Shout out to Jason. He says this is his favorite card/deck building game. He is wrong because that is Magic the Gathering.
Oh, yeah, so good.
That's going to be an answer.
Question 7, 2004.
Never won Spiel.
Players collect cards of various types of train cars they then use to claim railroad routes in North America. The longer the routes, the more points they earn. Additional points come to those who fulfilled objectives and to the other player who builds the longest continuous route. Question 8, 2001. A tile placement game in which the players draw and place a city, road, cloister, grassland, or a combination tile with a piece of southern France landscape on it. Having placed a tile, the player can then decide to place one of his knights, robbers, monks, or farmer meeples on one of the areas. When the area is complete, that meeple scores points for his owner. Great. Number 9, 1995. Players build settlements, cities, and roads. On each turn, dice are rolled to determine what resources the island produces. Players collect these resources, wood, grain, brick, sheep, or stone, to build up their civilizations to get to 10 victory points and win the game.
Amen.
Question 10, 1980. Similar to a card game of similar strategy, players try to get rid of tiles by forming numbers into runs of 3 or more, or 3 of a kind. The colors of the numbers on the tiles are like card suits.
I was just hoping for a Cones of Dunshire reference.
Oh, I love that game.
I think I'd be the Ledgerman.
I watched that episode. Like one of the only episodes I've actually watched.
If you're an athlete, you know the greatest motivator of all is the fear of letting your teammates down. After all, a team is only as good as its weakest link. So you owe it to those wearing the same jersey as you to be your best every time you step on the field. That's why there's no vape in team. When you vape, you can expose your lungs to toxic chemicals that can damage your lungs. If you're a step behind, the team's a step behind. Brought to you by The Real Cost and the FDA.
All right. Well, we've had some time to discuss with our teammates, so let's toss it back over to David.
All right. So the 2016 game, their Spy Masters Give One-Word Clues is?
We went with the classic Spy versus Spy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel embarrassed. I feel like I should know this one, but I said maybe he was being kind of tricksy, and we said Spy Masters. So
The answer is Codenames.
No points
yeah,
there.
that's the one.
All right. Question 2. The 2014 where players bet on which camel will win the race.
Yes.
What'd you guys put?
We said my humps, my board game camel humps.
Is that not right?
Well, we'll find out. I think this one is called Camel Up.
So what you do, you take a giant pyramid and you shake dice that's in it, and they come out, and then you kind of bet, and it's called Camel Up.
All right.
Yeah.
Question 3, the 2013 game that's Japanese for the word fireworks.
We went with Kaboom.
I feel like we have the wrong one here, but I couldn't get it out of my head, so we said Takanoko.
So Takanoko is the game with the pandas that you were talking about earlier, but it's Hanabi.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. I can see the box now, too.
All right, question 4, the 2011 game with 108 wooden blocks of different colors and shapes.
We're going to go with Black Sabbath's Crazy Train.
I know Dixit is somewhere on the list of Spiel des Jahres winners. I couldn't get it out of my head, never played it. We just guessed Dixit.
And this one is Quirkle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Heard of that one, too.
Number 5, the 2010 game with a storyteller who looks at images.
We are going to say this one is called Wacky Telephone.
Steven and I were talking about games where you put cards into a pot and pick the winner. We said Apples to Apples because we couldn't come up with anything else.
It's very close to Apples, but just with pictures. And it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite games, actually, because the pictures are so cool. They look like paintings. And this is Dixit.
Oh, this one's Dixit.
Ah! This one's Dixit.
I knew it was on the list somewhere.
Just went off there.
All right, question 6, the 2009 medieval deck building game.
All right, so this one pisses me off because I wrote Domain, and then I heard Jeff say Dominion, and I just didn't think enough about it, and we went with Domain.
I believe, unfortunately, we're the ones who had Dominion over this answer. We said Dominion.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is Dominion.
Whoops.
All right, question 7, the 2004 game where players basically make train routes.
We went with Ticket to Ride on this one.
And we too went Ticket to Ride.
Answer is Ticket to Ride. Question 8, the 2001 tile placement game with pieces of southern France on it.
We went with Vive la France.
David said the word Meeples. When I think of Meeples, there's only one real game, the game that started it all for Meeples, and I believe the game is Agricola.
The game that started it all for Meeples.
It's kind of a trend in these kinds of games.
Oh.
Little minifigures called Meeples.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the
So
Moops?
I'm a little worried because Jeff said it was his favorite game, but it's Carcassonne.
Oh, I thought Carcassonne was way earlier.
It won in 2001, so the years of the games won isn't exactly when they came out.
I thought you said that one was 2008. Okay, that I was way off.
All right, number 9, 1995 game where players build settlements, cities, and roads.
Settlers of Catan.
We agree. Settlers of Catan.
Catan or Settlers of Catan. Number 10, 1980, similar to a card game where you get three or four of a kind.
We're going to go with Uno.
Steven bailed me out on this one. We think this is Rummy Cube.
The card game is Rummy, and the tile game is Rummy Cube.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to take a big 10 points on this one.
Yeah, so Team General Triviality's Chicken is going to get 10 points. They're up to 50. And then Jeff and Steven, Team Quizzly Bears, is going to be up to 75.
Wow. That did not go well for us.
Nice surge.
Round 2, question 1. It's not Surratt. In painting and drawing, what is the name for the technique of using small dots of a single color as opposed to the multicolor pointillism to create a pattern simulating various degrees of solidity and shading?
That one took a left turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you heard pointillism screaming from the back of your brain.
All right. We are going to go ahead and lock in.
I think we're locked in 2. We're
All
gonna we'll say dot matrixing.
I don't think that's right.
I don't think so either.
Matt?
We went with the more modern Neo pointillism.
The answer is stippling or head cuts.
Ooh, never gonna get that.
Head cuts.
I must have been sick that day in our class.
Yeah. I don't think we ever got to that.
Didn't get that far. We got to perspective, and that was about it.
All right, question 2. Let him down easy. Dr. Death refers to which American pathologist and euthanasia activist who was convicted of second-degree murder for his direct role in a case of voluntary euthanasia?
You know it?
I know one.
Yep.
Yeah. He's famous. He's from around here, isn't he?
We all live down here.
Okay. Never mind.
I'm going to lean on your insight on this one, Stephen.
His first name was Jack, I thought.
You're thinking of Kevorkian?
Kevorkian. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that. I don't have anything else to think on, so I think we're going with Dr. Jack Kevorkian.
Yep, as portrayed by Al Pacino. Kevorkian.
Answer is Dr. Jacob Jack Kevorkian.
Yeah, from Michigan. Yeah.
Question 3. Blazing the Oregon Trail. What lucky 1950s musical film takes place in 1850s Oregon where Howard Keel's character brings Millie home to the farm as a wife, starting a chain reaction for his brother's want of wives?
I think I actually know this.
That's the most confidence I've ever seen.
Yeah. Like, are you sure it's not Oklahoma? No, it's probably in
might
Oklahoma.
be wrong.
Tap on my end. Musical.
Yeah, I'm not great with musicals myself. I know Lucky is something we can lean on, but I think I'm out of it. So,
I mean, the only Luck reference that I have, but this musical was set in New York. I'm, 83% sure. Guys and Dolls, because they have an iconic song that goes "Luck Be a Lady Tonight."
we could put in Guys and Dolls. That's better than my Joy Luck Club answer. So.
All right. Well, let me take you back about at least 20 years, probably more. My grandmother makes me watch this movie called 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, and I told her it's a grandma movie, and we bring this up quite frequently. So we're gonna go with 7 Brides for 7 Brothers, and I'll have to have Grandma Alice listen to this episode.
All right. The answer is 7 Brides for 7 Brothers.
All
Wow.
right. Grandma coming through.
Good job, Grandma.
Yeah, so they just did a production of 7 Brides for 7 Brothers over at Oak Brook Drury Lane about 2 or 3 years ago. Mm-hmm.
There's a big acrobatic barn building dance scene or something like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of dancing.
Weird.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of musical.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of singing, some kind of dancing.
It's almost incomprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
Question 4. The round's called Tocayo. Tocayo is a word used by some Latin people that signifies a sort of kinship with people who share the same namesake. Niles Crane wife and Mickey Mantle's other half of the M&M Boys would loosely be considered Tocayo because they share what name?
We're locked in.
We're in.
Ooh, I know both of these references.
I don't. Are you getting this one, Steven? I did know what Tocayo meant because I have customers who share my name, and my one coworker is like, "Oh, it's your Tocayo," and I was like, "What the hell?" But then she explained, and I was like, I still don't get it. But
Okay, so Mickey Mantle was married to Marilyn Manson. No, Monroe.
The beautiful people. The beautiful people.
The other half, though, with the M&M Boys, I believe is someone else he played with on the Yankees. And is it Roger Maris?
My baseball knowledge is minuscule.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not getting the other half of this. I'm wondering if it's a Frasier reference I don't get or something. But Dr. Frasier Crane. But I've got nothing better than Roger. So
that's all I've got is Marilyn Monroe and someone else.
Okay.
Don't call it a comeback.
Marilyn Monroe and someone else.
That's what you're locking in with?
Yes.
And you said the answer, too. It's a shame because it's the former home run king, Roger Maris. That was the name of his wife. It's Maris.
So the answer is Maris.
And just for the record, Stephen, it was Joe DiMaggio who was married to Marilyn Monroe.
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
not Mantle.
I'm off.
All right, round 2, question 5. Millennial version of the 3-card Monty. The common advanced fee con, known as the 419 fraud, gets its name from the reference to an article in the Federal Criminal Code of which country?
Locked in.
Locked in.
All right, they're locked in.
All right. Yeah, I don't know on this one, Stephen. I'm trying to figure out an inroad. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, outside of, there's a Napoleonic Code from France. I was just trying to think of countries with fraud, and I mean, Italy came to mind, especially with what they've been going through with food recently.
I don't know about
I'm shooting
that.
at the dark at this point. France with the Napoleonic Code.
Yeah, I've got no better guesses, so I'll lean on you at that one. Whatever you're feeling.
Let's go Italy.
All right, we'll go with Italy.
So the advanced fee con, I believe, is when they tell you that you need to pay a little bit now and then they'll pay you a lot later. These scams started with usually a Nigerian prince. I believe that the code's named after from that country, so we said Nigeria.
They say they're a Nigerian prince, but really it's just Matt.
Yeah, catfishing all the time.
So the 419 code in the Nigerian criminal code refers to obtaining goods, credits, and security under false pretenses. The answer is Nigeria.
Nice.
Wow. So after the beginning of the second round, Team General Triviality's Chicken has only missed one question. So they're up 40 points there. And Team Quizzly Bear only got one right. So they're only up 10. So it looks like it's 85 to 90. So General Triviality's Chicken is taking the lead.
Round 2, question 6 is Jesus Take the Wheel. Before its merger with Peugeot in 1974, what automobile manufacturer was the first mass production car company outside of the United States and developed the world's first mass-produced front-wheel drive motor vehicle in 1934?
We could be locked in.
If they merge with Peugeot, they don't exist anymore. Is that the assumption?
Yeah, I would think so. First front-wheel drive. My gut went to Citroen, but they're still around. My other guess is, weirdly, I think it might actually be a Japanese car company. And I wonder if it's Datsun, who was... I know they eventually became Nissan, part of them, but there's like a weird Japanese-French car company relationship between like a few of those brands. Like Renault has an affiliation with Nissan now. So I wonder if it's like Datsun for some reason, just off the cuff.
I mean, I like that more than, Saab.
Okay.
Or some of the other ones we had.
We'll go with Datsun.
We're just going to go with Volkswagen because we don't know.
In 1974, Peugeot bought 38.2% of this company, and then it later increased when it went bankrupt. It increased it to 89%, and it's Citroen.
Oh, wow.
Gotta go with the gut.
So now they're all under the group PSA, which is like Peugeot, Citroen, DS, Opel, and Vauxhall. All right, question 7. Under pressure. The SI unit for pressure, stress, and tensile strength is named after what Catholic mathematician and physicist?
We're locked in.
How about Barry?
What kind of...
Like barometer?
Oh, yeah. I mean, so pressure isn't like PSI.
Yeah, that's pounds per
square inch. Is pressure and tension would be...
Let's say Barry's.
That's fine. Marvin Barry.
I believe this is Pascal.
It is Pascal.
Blaise Pascal.
All right, question 8. Sino superlatives. Wu Zetian, the de facto ruler of China from 665 to 690, who founded the Zhou dynasty, holds what distinction?
Well, we're waiting. I was going to say that there was some pressure on Paramore's debut album, All We Know Is Falling.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Paramore.
Feel the
All right,
pressure.
we're going to be in on this.
Could you spell the
It's getting
dynasty?
closer now.
The dynasty, Zhou.
I believe that's Joe.
Joe. Sorry.
We're good though. Stephen, I think, is this maybe the first emperor of what we would call China?
Because maybe, but I thought it wasn't really considered a Chinese empire until the Qin dynasty.
Could be.
Qing.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. It depends on which romanization. Yeah, I'm gonna guess he's the first emperor to rule over modern day China. Not necessarily be Chinese, but modern day China.
And we're going to say maybe he was just the cutest little emperor and say he was the youngest.
So Wu was the first and only empress in Chinese history.
They get no point. You get no points, right?
That is correct.
Was she also the youngest?
Okay.
She was not.
She was definitely the youngest empress.
Yeah. Half points. Good point.
Question 9. I like to check my boxes. Initiating civil service reform, naval modernization, purging corruption in the post office, and being shot in the abdomen by Charles Guiteau is part of the action item list accomplished by which president?
Jeff, I think we have this unlocked.
You do? Okay, good. I'm happy to discuss, but I think I've got it down to 2, and I'm pretty sure which. So I think we're okay.
You guys are locked in?
Yeah.
All right, dudes who were shot. Garfield, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
McKinley.
Does Garfield seem
Reagan?
Reagan seems too late for post office reform, right? Garfield, and I thought, what was the second one?
Was Hating Mondays in the list?
Yes. Lasagna reform
was on the list.
Yeah.
We'll go with McKinley.
McKinley's in the era where we still, right? Where it felt like they're moving away from old-timey ships towards new ships.
Yeah, he was the last president of the 1800s.
Yeah, that seems like a good time. Let's go McKinley.
Also the namesake for the high school in Glee.
Oh, wait. What about...
Hold on, we're not going McKinley.
What about Teddy Roosevelt? He was shot.
Let's go Roosevelt.
All right, Stephen, what was your thought on this one?
I was thinking Reagan, but...
Yeah, I'm good locking in with Reagan.
So all of these actions were accomplished or completed by James A. Garfield.
Oh,
Should we go with
the thing we first said.
Yeah, it was on the board. At least you said it.
I feel good about that.
Good enough.
And did the bullet actually hit Reagan?
Yeah.
In the leg or something?
I don't know where it hit him.
In the Gipper or something?
It hit him right in the Gipper.
All right.
All right. Last question of the round. Herstory. A groundbreaking 1863 book describing a widespread phenomenon introduced by Betty Friedan as, quote, the problem that has no name, end quote, was given a name. In her book's title, what was it?
We're locked in.
I'm trying to remember because Betty Friedan, definitely, that name is very familiar, but I think there is something phenomenon, but I'm not getting it. I think we're just going to have to tap out.
All right. So I wrote down something quick. Ken suggested, what was it, the feminine mystique?
Yeah.
But I thought it was something that people were kind of concerned about, and it's around this time period. It might be too late, but we said reefer madness.
Okay. In the early 1960s was the second wave of feminism. The book was titled The Feminine Mystique.
Yeah, as soon as that name came up, I was like, oh yeah, that's the one.
Know a thing or two about feminist literature. But I got talked out of it.
All right. After regulation, it looks like the game is going to be very tight going into the final round. In second place currently are General Triviality's Chicken with 90 points. And in first place, narrowly by 5 points, is the Grizzly Bears with 95.
All right, the finals. Your categories are Silver Screen Reincarnations. Second one is Not Actual Carnations. Third one is What Intarnations. 4 is Some Sort of Silly Nations. And 5 is She Goes Round in Full Rotations.
All right. All the wagers are locked in. So, David, feel free to go through the questions.
All right. Question 1. Silver Screen Reincarnations. Often cited as an animated version of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, which Pixar animated full-length film is the only one to technically be written in all lowercase letters?
Oh my God. I'm so sad that we did not bet on this.
Why?
Question 2. Not Actual Carnations. What is the name of the ostentatious ornamentation named after a flower spelled correctly by Anne of Green Gables that is given to dates during homecoming that can be average as large as 2 to 3 feet? Okay. Question 3. What intarnations? What intarnation is a meme used to poke fun at the way Southerners express bewilderment? What English evolutionary biologist, ethologist, and author of books such as The Selfish Gene and God Delusion coined the term meme?
Got it.
He did?
Question 4. Some Sort of Silly Nations. On his many voyages, Lemuel Gulliver visited many lands. The easiest to remember is his meetings with the tiny Lilliputians on Lilliput. He also visited Glubbdubdrib that was inhabited by magicians and sorcerers. Can you tell me what kind of people inhabited Brobdingnag? And the last one is She Goes Round in Full Rotations. In 2017, the Victorian Roller Derby League, or VRDL, became the first non-U.S. team to win the international WFTDA championships. They're based out of which city?
All right. So all of the answers are locked in. We're going to have David go through the questions one more time, and I'll read the wagers.
All right. Question 1. Silver Screen Reincarnations. Often cited as an animated version of Akira Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, which Pixar animated full-length film is the only one to technically be written in all lowercase letters? So what was their wagers?
All right. Team General Trivialities Chicken wagered 30, and Quizzly Bears wagered 0.
Yeah, very confident on this one. It's one of my favorite fun facts because basically every movie is a remake of a Kurosawa movie, but this one is Bug's Life.
Even the ones that predate it?
Yeah.
Especially the ones that predate it.
Yeah, this one makes me very sad, figuring that I wouldn't get a movie question. We said we bet 0, and it's A Bug's Life, without a doubt.
The answer is A Bug's Life. Question 2. Not actual carnations. What is the name of the ostentatious ornamentation named after a flower spelled correctly by Anne of Green Gables that is given to dates during homecoming that can average as large as 2 to 3 feet?
All right. Team General Trivialities Chicken wagered 10, and Team Quizzly Bears wagered an Oakland 5.
Yeah, I was thinking the ones you pin on, although I can't imagine they're 2 to 3 feet, but we said corsage.
Yep, we said corsage.
Okay. It comes from the word chrysanthemum. They're mums.
Oh.
Whoops.
All right. Question 3. What intarnations? What intarnation is a meme used to poke fun at the way Southerners express bewilderment? What English evolutionary biologist, ethologist, and author of books such as The Selfish Gene and The God Delusion coined the term meme?
General Trivialities Chicken wagered 10, and Quizzly Bears, Oakland 5.
We believe this would be Dawkins.
Yeah, we're inclined to agree. That would be Dawkins.
The answer is Richard Dawkins. Question 4. Some sort of silly nations. On his many voyages, Lemuel Gulliver visited many lands. The easiest to remember in his meeting is his meeting with the tiny Lilliputians on Lilliput. He also visited Glubbdubdrib that was inhabited by magicians and sorcerers. Can you tell me what kind of people inhabited Brobdingnag?
All right. Well, General Trivialities Chicken wagered 10. Quizzly Bears went all in with 30. And as we know, the Club Drib Drib was home to all different R. Kellys. All right. So what are your answers?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he visits some giants at some point in time. We figure maybe this is the place where, so we said giants.
Yeah, either that or an island full of Jeffs.
I don't think so. We thought maybe this was the island full of old people.
Okay.
So Hononyms is the equine people, and Brobdingnag is the giants.
Wow.
Big move. Big move.
Wow. Okay.
Question 5. She goes round in full rotations. In 2017, the Victorian Roller Derby League, or VRDL, became the first non-U.S. team to win the International WFTDA Championships. They are based out of which city?
All right. Trivialities Chicken wagered 10, and Quizzly Bears 15.
Yeah, we just didn't really know this one, so we just guessed Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're kind of in the same boat, but we thought Melbourne was in Victoria, Australia, so we guessed Melbourne.
In Victoria, Australia, they're from Melbourne.
Wow.
Good job. But is it enough?
It's not enough.
No.
It's never enough.
According to Robert Smith, it's never enough. It's never enough.
All right. So after regulation and the final round, it looks like the final scores are going to come together with Quizzly Bears in second place with 80 points. And today, taking the lead and winning it all,
all on that Silly Nations question.
That's correct. Team General Trivialities Chicken with 130 points, and today's cream of the crop.
The cream of the crop! Nobody does it better.
The Generals are back.
Well done, gentlemen.
Right, here we go. We're going to have them open the celebratory fortune cookie. And
paid
see.
Money for that?
No, it comes
Here,
free.
Matt, take half of this, and we'll crack it.
Oh,
ooh.
Wonderful Foley work.
GSMR.
GSMR? It's
I don't
ASMR.
know, whatever it's called.
GSR is gunshot residue.
This is a good one. Your best investment is in yourself. In bed.
Wonderful. So that was a really, really great game. David, thank you very much for hosting that, putting the questions together. Those were awesome.
Yeah, no worries. Sorry they were harder this time.
No,
it's all good.
They were good.
Hey, that's all right.
I didn't do as well as I'd like on the mid-round, but I also loved the mid-round. So
And the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, no, this is a great game. Steven, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I know some of those might have been hard, like you said, but you were a worthy competitor, and I hope you had fun.
Well, I enjoyed it. I hope to come back for redemption, and I'm now going to go into hiding as the entire state of Texas tries to find me for not getting mums.
Just make sure to keep that bass really low so no one will hear you.
David, thanks for the 7 brides for 7 brothers question. I'll give you your $20 in Vegas.
I'm going to go hang out with your grandma later.
Thank you, Grandma Alice.
Grandma Alice.
To you.
Hashtag Grandma Alice. So, Steven, we're going to let you go, but before we do, can you give us your handle again for people to check you out?
I don't know if I want to anymore. Sure. It's at DJ Nursic. DJ Nursic.
All right.
The DJ Nursic.
Probably not.
Thank you. And David, and anything you can leave us with before we close out the show, maybe a lesson from Japan or something from tonight.
I don't know. Everyone in Japan's just super nice. So I just feel like in general, just be nice to other people.
Hey, that's all we need to hear. That's what Japan is basically just a bunch of David Levacies who are super nice. So you're always super nice. So yeah, thank you very much to David and Steven. Thank you to everyone here in the studio. Make sure to check out our Facebook group, The Crop, and our video miniseries, Bloodsport. For Jeff, Ken, Matt, David, and Steven, my name is Neil, and that was Triviality.
Galstaff, you have entered the door to the north. You are now by yourself, standing in a dark room. The pungent stench of mildew emanates from the wet dungeon walls.
Where are the Cheetos?
They're right next to you.
I cast a spell. Where's the Mountain Dew?
In the fridge, duh.
I want to cast a spell.
Can I have a Mountain Dew? Yes, you can have a Mountain Dew. Just go get it.